Hi, everyone. Hope they're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today, we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs like we normally do. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all of these topics and subjects, looking for potential investment opportunities and sharing it with everyone in the community. We have a special coupon code that is active. Special is the coupon code, 50% off the first month only, and a larger discount on the yearly membership for anyone who wants to switch to a yearly membership or go directly to it. All right, let's see what's going on today in the markets. We've got the DXY here, and this still looks like we could go lower on the DXY. We've broken out of the rising wedge to the downside. We have created a lower low. So when you break an uptrend, generally what you'll see is the first step is a break of the uptrend or pattern. Step one. Step two is to create a lower high. And then what you want to do is you want to break down through to create a lower low, which is number 3 here. That is a trend reversal, technically. It's called a Trader Vic 123 bottom, if you want to have a name to it. And here we are retesting that breakout and seeing if we're going to come back for the DXY, if we're actually going to have some follow through here for a move lower. And that very much looks like the case. This is generally driven by yields, and it's the monetary strength backing the currencies. And then traders look at the strength of the backing of those currencies, and then they priced it against each other, the currencies. The 2-year yield is a very similar setup to DXY. We've broken out below the we'll call it the upward trend line. And we've done a retest here and we could fall, but we haven't created the third step. So the first step is a breakout. The second step is a lower low. And then we need to break through this for step number 3 to break through that. To be sure that we are in a downtrend. So we're not in a downtrend yet, but we're kind of in the early stages of maybe developing one. And that's a maybe at this time. We have to see this drop. The 10-year yield is still hanging on. And again, we are above a lot of support on the longer term. There's the support line that I'm talking about. We're also in a flat, kind of like a bullish formation pattern where we could still go higher on the long end. We also have structure here, 1, 2, 3, and we broke that to the upside. So the long end of the curve looks strong to go higher. The 30-year also is in the same situation as the 10-year. Your consolidation, your breakout, your consolidation on the short term, which is downward facing, which is a bullish setup formation. That's kind of what I see in the dollar and short and long-term interest rates at this current time. TYX TNX ratio, this ratio is the 30 versus the 10. When this goes up, it is generally a tailwind behind precious metals, specifically gold. Bond prices are moving sideways or flat today. No real update there, but we're still in a bearish formation, which means the long end of the curve for yields could continue to go higher and bond prices could continue to go lower. The 2 and the 10 yield curve did uninvert today. We came on back 0.41%. Now, the reason we watch this one is because we always get these events. The 9/11 event occurred back here. It was the housing crisis. We've got C19 here. And could something come that blows this to the downside? This is generally when they do it. What do you mean when they do it? Well, if they're going to pull something, they're going to pull something here. So we'll see what occurs here. But if you see this rapidly decline, where the 2 and 10, the short end of the curve drops down dramatically, it means people are running to safety, and that they're most likely going to lower interest rates um, for that. And that's your crisis event. Your crisis event is when big money runs at bonds first. It lowers the yields down, and then some crisis occurs after all the big boys are positioned for it. uh, Gold's up a little bit, up $2 an ounce today, and we're up against a little bit of resistance there. And I think everything looks absolutely fantastic. A little bloody nose today. Looks good to go higher. Silver down slightly, but it's a bloody nose. It looks good to go higher. We've got that bullish engulfing that occurred yesterday. And then we're going to try to break through, the resistance that we've got here, which is only a little bit. We've got some, resistance there, and probably nothing from back there, but we'll work through it, and we could see a big move out of silver at some point. Platinum down 1.5%. We are trying to break through this last resistance level. It's a bullish formation on the candlesticks on a monthly formation. We have a big bullish engulfing here with a bloody nose candlestick. That is a bullish formation for a break higher. And then palladium is down 2% today. And we've been consolidating here sideways above support. That's been consolidating for a while here above support. And we're sitting on top of the support level there. GDX is flat today. We've got a basically flat day for GDXJ and slightly lower for SILJ. I think if gold and silver can get their butt moving, I think we could see these really start to take off. I've also seen a lot of articles talking about potential physical shortages at certain levels. So we'll say at the exchanges, it's going to start there, I think. And then I think it's going to work its way through retail. If we get a problem in the physical market, I think the miners could do crazy things because it will be the only outlet for people to gain exposure to physical metals. And I'm weary about the futures pricing, the paper contracts, because if they can't deliver the metal, what's the value of the paper future contract at that point? Coming down to XAU to gold ratio, you can buy this when it's ultra cheap. No one's looking at it. There you go. It's your opportunity if you want to hit it up. XAU to gold. And on the website, we talked about some of my favorite companies, the past midweek update, which was released yesterday, if you want to catch that. My favorites in the gold and silver space. And I did some analysis diving into some of the technicals on them. Crude oil, we are up about half a percent today. We've got a small red candlesticks pullback. We're getting a little bit more of the green guys coming in here. This very well could launch higher at any point. I know that there's a slowdown kind of occurring in the markets, but we've got a pretty good setup here. We had a consolidation here. It kind of looks like a double bottom to me, almost like bottom one, bottom two. Then you draw kind of the line through here. So double bottom, it came up, got some resistance and came back, and now we've got another bullish engulfing on the weekly candlestick formations. So this looks good to try to work its way on up, and we'll see if it can do that. TTF gas down 4%, and we're in this big pattern. We are getting a little bit more selling pressure here on the past couple of I'll say the past week or so of trading. We're back in this upward channel. Natural gas in America absolutely doing the opposite of TTF gas. Up 9% today. We are breaking through this downtrend line to the upside. And there it is on the weekly candlestick. You can see the big candlestick that's developing, and we're starting to break away from that resistance today, showing us that strength. I'm positioned in the natural gas equities from back here on this kind of shoulder, head, shoulder pattern that we've broken. And we're projected to go somewhere between 650 and maybe 850, somewhere in that range up there, where a lot of projections are given some of the size of the patterns and point and figure charts and stuff. If that occurs, we'll probably see a gigantic move in the natural gas equities and perhaps maybe even drilling coming back to some extent. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, up 1.23% today. A little bit of a wick at the top there. We saw oil trade a little bit higher throughout the day, same with XOP, but it looked good. And we are squeezing between the support line and the resistance neckline of this gigantic shoulder head shoulder that has developed. Both natural gas, and if we can get oil in gear, they would both be supporting a higher move. OIH moving lower by 1.55%. We're still squeezing in this pattern here. We did enter the pattern from the top side down, which means we could end up down here again before heading higher. So that is a possibility. We've got Newcastle coal futures up 2.7%. I think that this is probably going to be the beginning stages of a bottom over here. We haven't bottomed yet, but I think it's the beginning stages in this general area that started there, and we'll probably track sideways. We are on top of support. That's my guess of where we would track sideways and then eventually work our way on up. Crop Physical Uranium Trust down 0.66%, getting a little bit of buying pressure with those wicks at the bottom there. We're still within the big flag pattern. Uranium futures pricing coming back down a little bit. It is possible that we come back lower. There's some momentum behind this pullback here, and we continue to pull back here in the short term. URA down 2.9%, getting some selling pressure there. Just a small wick at the bottom. It does look like we could pull back a little bit more. Uranium down 2.8. We're getting a little wick at the bottom. It could be salvageable. We are at support down here for this general area, so we could find support. Let's see if we can get a positive bullish candlestick to show up. URNJ also in the same situation here. For those that are super aggressive, me personally, I would be adding a little bit here, and then I would do my special sprinkles over time. And whenever you get the support areas in this support area like through here, where you get some support, you're probably going to find support through here. So that's when I start to do my sprinkle dust in it. Small amounts of money because we're still in a downtrend pace, but still getting cheap shares. Copper pulling on back to support. So looks like we're doing a retest of the breakout here. Breakout, retest. And I do think we will eventually work our way on up. COPX also doing a retest back to support. We're getting a little bit of, not a little bit, a lot of bit of pressure here. I'd like to see that be a lot smaller when you do a retest. I don't like these big candlesticks like the one we got today. A gap down and selling pressure throughout the day. Iron ore up 0.23%. I think this one looks fantastic for a potential move higher. That's looking good. Aluminum trying to break out today, but we're still right on top of that stinking resistance. We had a nice morning move, but it sold back off a little bit. To me, this looks like we're real close to a breakout for aluminum. Nickel down 1%. It's still chopping sideways here at this double bottom within a double bottom. Moving sideways, flat day today. Still looks good to go higher. We have a low here, a higher low, and some green boys showing up, the green army. Emerging markets down slightly, doesn't like the stronger dollar today. We've got KRE moving sideways, just chopping sideways. I could probably redraw this. That looks more like this. And we'll see if this can kind of squeeze in there. TAN up 1.72%. Maybe that's all we get out of this little move higher. Not a confidence inspiring candlestick there. Gapped higher and then sold off throughout the day. Lithium moving sideways, still looks well poised for a move higher. We've got the big green candlesticks, the small reds, small reds. Today's a red day, but it's a green candlestick because of momentum. And then REMX down slightly based on support, and we'll see if we can put together anything here or a move higher. Baltic Dry Index up 4.34%. That was yesterday. It looks like it's trying to bottom and work its way on up. I think there's going to be strength in the Baltic Dry Index. We're coming into, I think, seasonality for shipping is somewhere around here. But we're at a real low price, and it's trying to bottom here. Looks good. XHB down 1.3%. I don't think it likes the 10-year. The 10-year was down 0.37. But we need to shift the 10-year yield for affordability in mortgage rates, and that's right now. This is a bearish formation that we could head lower. We also have a little bit lower housing starts compared to last month at 1.3 something million. Russell index 2000 index chopping sideways still. We've got the S&P 500 that is up. I don't know how, but it continues to work its way on up. Well, the 10-year yield's not over 5%. That's why it's holding. And then NASDAQ is holding steady, moving sideways. We've got SMCI. We've got a lot of short sellers getting squeezed here. We do have a little bit of a wick at the top there, so could be a reversal day. There's the selling pressure that we see. So it could be a reversal day where we could see a further move lower in the short term or consolidation sideways. NVIDIA down slightly and holding above support. Bitcoin up 1.44, looking a little bit better today. We've got a bullish engulfing here and here. So we'll see if we can get any traction to the upside. I can also extend this pattern this way. I'll just redraw it here. And you could say that's a falling wedge. That's a possibility we could break higher for Bitcoin. And then Ethereum's also up 1.97. It's holding on. It's been back and forth. This could be, it could be a false breakdown. It's got the 1, 2, 3 pattern, and this could be a slingshot that slingshots it higher. MicroStrategy down 5%, but still inside the bigger pattern. And we need Bitcoin to move higher for MicroStrategy, I think, to take off. And then the VIX is down slightly and holding steady as the S&P was up slightly. So that's what we've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Specials that coupon code. We've got a question and answer session coming up this Sunday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm going to go over, again, it's going to be related to companies and why companies move up. What's the main driver for companies and stock prices moving higher? And then I'll talk a little bit about commodity companies and non-commodity companies and kind of how they move and the cycles associated with them and the valuations. So that's what I've got. And if you're interested in learning that type of stuff and you want to listen and hang out and ask questions, definitely hit up the website there. Join the Q&A session on Sunday. It's a Zoom call, and you can, ask whatever you'd like. So that's all I've got. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.